All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Now we'll call the meeting to order.
Rachel?
Here.
Katie?
Here.
Sarah?
Here.
Jeff Gorno?
Here.
Carrie?
Here.
Jeff Weaver?
Here. All right, if everyone will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Miss Kelly, South Maple Elementary kindergarten class, and then we'll remain standing for the moment of silence for armed services personnel. Here they come.
Give us a minute, we're little, it takes a minute.
You take all the time you need.
I'm just gonna go. Perfect. Stay right here. Right here. Stay right here. Okay, turn around, my friend. You see the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold on just one second. Thank you. You guys did an excellent job.
Good job.
Very nice job. Very good. Fist bumps?
Palmer, will you come down here? Wait, Mr. Cat, can you take a good picture for
Yeah.
my kindergarten buddies? Turn this way. Give me your best cheesers. Show me all your teeth. Like, say cheese. Look right here at Mr.
You
Cat.
gotta get in there too.
Oh, all right.
And I get in
Here, I'll take it.
Okay, ready? Oh, this is awesome. Nice job. Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
You can come right back with me.
Their kindergartners are going out.
There you go.
They're just following the leaders.
Yep. You're doing good. Oh, her outfit's so cute. I know. I love how they just like stare at her. I know.
Plenty of seats now. All right, are there any items to be added or changed to the agenda?
There is that.
Recognitions and acknowledgements. First up, we have Heidi Weber, North Ohio Elementary teacher, kindergarten class in the Gaylord High School Buddies program. You have the floor.
And Mrs. Nevalillo also is with me today too. All right, so maybe we should stand over here, guys, so they can see us. Perfect timing. Come on up, sweetie pie. So we just wanted to share, it's been at least 20 years that we've had this partnership with the high school. And all the years I've taught kindergarten, we've had high school buddies, and we just really appreciate their help. We appreciate the partnership. Our kids absolutely love them. We also got a board member's daughter here who is a high school buddy. And also many former students, Miss Kelly, who was just up here, was one of my high school buddies back in the day. Many teachers in this district, like Kendall Charsky, Kelly Heinz, there's many. And then also we're finding even ones who are coming through, we're going to school to be teachers. Like, well, Mr. Gornwell's daughter is a teacher now, and she was one, and my daughter. So it's an excellent program. I just think that, like I said, the kids look forward to seeing them every day, and the buddies do too.
And I just want to say that without our buddies, our reading program would not be as strong as it is. After we are done with our whole group instruction, our buddies come in, and for 40 minutes they work with our Tier 1 kids. So we can work with our Tier 2 and Tier 3 kids and really dive into that instruction. while our buddies are holding down the fort, not only teaching them, but keeping them in line, building these relationships with them, that when they do see them in public, it is this strong bond that they have with these seniors that they would not have before if they were not in the buddy program. And I guarantee you, on the last day of the buddies, we all cry, because our bond with them, and they don't believe me, but it's true, our bond with them is so strong that they become one of our students. So I just want to, again, thank you for letting us have this program. I don't know what we would do with our reading program if we did not have this program in place, because it's just fabulous.
I'd just like to add that it's been a pleasure this year to work with teachers at North Ohio. It's a little different this year because we stayed at Gaylord High for a month to prepare. We went over effective techniques, we did role-playing simulations on stations. Heidi sent us over a PowerPoint on the correct formation of the letters. And it's just been a pleasure working with students like Raina. And they've impressed me every day that we're over there, and then we get back to the high school and they walk down the hall like nothing happened, and they're really heroes in disguise, so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks.
Very cool, thank you.
Audrey, can you start and shake your hand?
Go ahead. Here, Audrey, you want to follow me, babe? Here we go.
Good job, sweetie. Good job, sweetie. Thanks for coming, you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Hi, Audrey, how are you?
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you for doing
Thanks
it.
for coming.
Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
See you.
Alicia.
See you.
Tina, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your work. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That way I can get over it. The board can stand up so I can. I don't want to.
Sorry, we're talking.
I think I got you. Got it. Thank you so much.
We'll give all of you a few minutes if you'd like to leave. You're welcome to stay.
Yeah. Does she have a buddy? Okay. She did.
All right, personnel, we have new hires, educational assistant Amy Mertz, health aide Deanna Kirby, preschool floater ECC Kiana Barb, and maintenance technician Charles Jones. Do we have any of our new hires here? No. Resignations, GIS teacher Brianna Young, returning to GESPA. North Ohio secretary Lauren Bake. Elementary music teacher Sarah Peterson, and wrestling coach Kyle O'Neill. We have one retirement, elementary teacher Kathleen Wanza. And those are all of those. Now we'll move on to Gaylord Community Schools reports, Personnel Finance Committee update. Ms. Javetsky.
Yes, so I was a little bit late for this meeting. But if Sarah or Carrie want to add something that I missed, just let me know. A couple of things that we discussed, Mr. Craycraft informed us that we were gonna, we have the transportation director position, but we were gonna put it, repost it come January, looking for a little bit bigger pool, candidate pool. What else? Our all teachers, K through 12, just doing the mid-year graduates. And then transportation, we did discuss the bus driver statuses and then some of the routes, because some of those got changed. And so kind of evaluating how those went, talking about the bus software and some of those other inquiries stemming from the start of the school year. There's always a lot of changes that come from that and conversations surrounding transportation at the start of the school year. So we talked about that at the beginning of the year and then kind of recapped where we're at now and how that is going. And then from finance, Joe commented on the 2024 audit, gave us some updates on the summer tax resolution, and discussed some tax flow for the district. And he is definitely an expert on that. If anybody has any additional questions, Joe can share that with us. And then just negotiations. Jim briefed us the committee on negotiations, and kind of some minor updates on that stuff.
Okay, any questions for Katie on any of the BFN meeting?
I think I shared with everyone, but I can't remember that, we had a conversation about scheduling policy committee meetings on a regular basis, rather than just as needed. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you did say that, yeah. We did
So
talk
we
about
just
that.
talked about doing that moving forward next year.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, we'll move on to buildings, grounds, and transportation. Ms. Davis, you have the floor.
Okay, so we talked first about buildings and grounds. We talked about the United Way lease agreement and a little bit about the history of that building. And I guess it was originally used by the band, which I did not know.
That's correct.
We have been leasing it to United Way for a number of years. And we talked about extending the lease for another 2 years, which is on the agenda. And that we might need that building in the future, so we want to hold on to it. So, and then we talked about the 5-year plan update. Joe indicated that they are looking at replacing the carpet at GHS for 35 classrooms. The carpet is, I think, greater than 30 years old, so it's time for a refresh. And then also at South Maple in North Ohio, creating some storage areas, using some partitions and just creating more storage for those buildings. Then we also talked about replacing the bleachers at GIS. They are 40 years old, and they are not ADA compliant, and looking at replacing those and downsizing them to meet current needs. So, and then also talked about the early childhood program and reconfiguring some of those classrooms to accommodate possibly 3, definitely 2, it sounds like, more classrooms for that program here on the other side of this building. We also discussed a generator bid for this building. The bids are out and they should be available by the 20th of December, and they will be presented at the January workshop. With regard to transportation, Dave Parcell is overseeing transportation for the time being. We have 4 to 5 new drivers that are in the process of being trained. And I don't know when, they should be coming online soon, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they were
Yes.
talking.
Yeah.
December, January.
Okay. Again, no changes to the route schedule this year, and it will be posted, that position will be posted in January.
How long is the orientation for a driver?
David,
Oh,
Sorry?
how long is the training regimen for our drivers?
I'm just curious.
It depends. It could, anywhere from about 4 weeks. Some take 6.
Okay.
But it's all, if you were to do it, had somebody and did it with them, it'd probably take you about 3 weeks. But you gotta do it under their schedule.
Oh, gotcha.
And as long as needed, right?
Pardon me?
As long as needed.
Yes.
You're correct. Absolutely, sir.
Funny.
Okay. Any other questions for Rachel?
I'm just curious, I know last year we did a lot of repainting at the high school, and being in the middle school for the Veterans Day thing, I was kind of surprised that the gym in there hasn't been repainted in. Is there any chance we're gonna give the middle school any touch-ups? And was it on the?
That was
you know?
not, that, we
Okay.
didn't talk about
It
that,
wasn't
but I
on-
think the
no.
5-year plan
Okay,
is
I just
a
was like,
constant
oh,
rolling.
yeah, we need to do some more loving on here.
Updated
But,
maintenance.
yeah,
Okay.
just, I mean, it didn't look like it, just, new paint job would be.
Okay.
Anyhow, that's just my
Noted.
opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the pecking order, I think, of
Probably.
what
What's
gets,
important,
what needs the
what's-
money,
yeah.
yeah. A leaky roof or
Just
paint.
Watch
Yeah.
the walls.
That makes sense,
Yep.
yeah.
Any other questions? All right, Rachel, you have it again for policy.
Okay, so we met on the 13th of November. We started with the FOIA committee meeting. That we had our attorney from Clark Hill present to advise us how to proceed with regard to the Mackinac Center FOIA appeal. There were several options that were discussed, and we agreed, we all voted and agreed that we should go forward with reversing the initial denial and honor the FOIA in part, redacting personal student information and any attorney-client privilege communication. And there is a fee procedure that is in place, and I do we got notice that the Mackinac Center has agreed to pay the fee, and I think we were probably complying with that FOIA, or working on getting that information to them.
They have to submit their payment for half payment first before you start,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Have they done that yet?
No, they have not done
When they
that.
spent the half, then we'll,
They have sent the half?
you know, when they submit the
Oh,
half.
okay,
then
so
we'll
you don't have,
decide.
yeah, so we don't have to do anything yet until they submit the payment, half payment. And then before you give that to them, they have to submit the final payment, correct?
Half is just to get started.
Yep.
Do you have a timeline from the time that you get the half until,
We do.
I was say, is there like a
Yep.
10-day or something, probably?
Once it's the appeal, so that it's kind of more, we're already in the process, we've audited the
Okay.
guidelines of that. And so we
Okay.
had 10 days to respond to the appeal.
Mhm.
And now it's kind of how quick they respond. Like I haven't
Okay.
heard back, once I sent the FOIA request, I haven't heard back that they said they're going to pay the 50%. She just asked what the next step was. So I sent her the itemization,
Okay,
but she has not responded that they are in agreement to pay that, so.
okay.
So that once they do that, then we're not in a tight timeline, but I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
within.
You've done your part and we're waiting for them now. Okay. All right.
Okay, and then we then had a policy committee meeting, and we discussed revising Article 5 of our bylaws as it relates to discrimination and harassment. These are the Title IX changes that have been proposed to us. I had provided the list showing that 4 of our schools are subject to the injunction preventing changes to Title IX, so the bylaws can remain as they are. Future Title IX investigations will follow 2020 regulations. We also discussed Article 5 Personnel, Section 18 Discipline, Demotion, and Discharge, and this was arising out of the conversation with regard to, you know, the role of the superintendent and the board with regard to certain contracts. And Kara, our attorney, was advising us in this discussion, and she basically stated that the superintendent's job is obviously to run the day-to-day aspects of the district, and our superintendent is responsible for the following: hiring, managing, and termination of contracts with regard to non-certified teachers, aides, and at-will employees. The school board role is to approve initial hire of administrators and certified teachers, to approve termination of administrators and certified teachers, and to approve the non-renewal of administrator or certified teachers' contracts. So this kind of led into a discussion regarding the fact that we do not currently approve certified teacher contracts. We have in the past, we stopped in 2023, and she had indicated that it common practice for school boards to do that, so I think this is an outstanding item that we as a board need to determine how we want to go forward with regard to certified teacher contracts. She had also talked about whether we can do that, if we do change it so that the school board approves the contracts, it can just be added to the contracts, that teachers can start in the classroom, but it's pending board approval. So that's the way around that. We also discussed, there was one other thing that came out of that. We had discussed whether it would be advisable to override our superintendent with regard to those contracts that he is responsible for, the at-will employee contracts, specifically regarding, you know, the reason it came up was the varsity coach non-renewal. And Kara had indicated that we can do that. She does not recommend it. But 3 of us had asked for that to be reconsidered, so. And then we also discussed recommending that the board have the policy committee meet every month like our other committees do, so that we can stay on top of our board policies and our administrative guidelines that support those policies, and also foster better communication with our superintendent, and just, you know, knowing what our bylaws say, having better handle on them for all of us. So And then lastly, we discussed the social media post that a GCS employee made and what actions were taken with regard to that. That was it.
So are you thinking, Carrie, that, or Rachel, sorry, that we will have more discussion about the certified teacher stuff at the next policy
Well, I
meeting?
think that's kind of up to us. I mean,
Okay.
I took it that she was surprised that we don't do that, but our bylaws do not explicitly state that we do that. So I think that's something that, I don't know exactly how we go
Okay.
forward with this. I mean, I think we should personally go back to that.
She's drafted language.
So, right, so I think she's gonna get back to us, but I
Yeah.
think in
Okay.
January, when we set up our different committees, I think, you know, it would make sense that the policy committee meet regularly.
I'm sorry, did you say she's already drafted language? Like, do you have that
Yeah.
already?
Look at that.
Okay.
Yep.
Could you pass that on to us?
I will.
Okay.
And then, the plan in January, we can discuss whether we continue on with the committees or we go on to a committee as a whole.
Yeah.
So that'll be
That's
that'll be a discussion, so we can have that in January's workshop.
When we do that, is it possible to have, was it Jay Bennett that was setting forth how that works? Who was talking?
He had gone over that one time, or was it Rod Green?
It was Rod, it was Jay, and it was also Sean. Lewis Lincoln.
Oh, yes, that's.
All of them have, yeah.
So it's confusing, a little bit confusing as to the committee as a whole.
I can clarify.
Yeah, if.
Cindy
if
has tried to
so-
spell it out for us last year, so.
So I have a schedule, so pretty much a committee of a whole, instead of having your separate PFN, BGT committees, you guys it would be just like, it would replace like the workshop, or it would be like the workshop. So all the directors that had something to present, so every committee would present every month if they had something. You know, like we just canceled our
Okay.
TC because we didn't have anything. So at every workshop, committee of the whole meeting, all your directors would be here to present to you guys as a group for all the committees. And then you would, if any action had come out of that, then it would just go to the next board meeting. So you didn't have to have that.
And we would take
Yeah,
this
you wouldn't
portion
have-
out of
yeah,
it
you
too, we wouldn't have to
this
have,
committee,
we'd all hear
And then they
it.
wouldn't have to go to the workshop and then to the board meeting, you're taking out that one piece. So everyone's going to hear.
Firsthand.
All
The
firsthand.
PFN meeting all at the same time,
Yes.
the
But just know
technology
that there may
curriculum.
be something that, you know, like I said, TC didn't have anything this month, so we went, but they'd have the opportunity to present every month, then every board or director would have an opportunity to address what they needed to in their committee, instead of waiting every other month.
So
we
that would be
basi-
at the workshop.
It'd be like a committee, the whole workshop, yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we would only have 2 meetings a month instead of some of us, I mean, depending on how many committees you're on, you
Right.
have 3 or 4 a month
Correct.
sometimes.
Streamlines it.
Correct.
So, it
That,
would
that,
make that
the
easier.
committee as a whole could be a little bit longer.
I would say it's gonna be a longer meeting,
Could-
but it's
Just
only
depend,
2.
yeah, if we have curriculum, we have technology, we have buildings and ground, yeah, expect a little longer. If nobody has anything, it could be a little shorter, so.
Yeah, the
There's-
15-minute meetings are over.
There's plus or minus. Now, this one could still, because we'd all have that discussion together. And then when it gets to Monday, we don't have to have these reports, because we've all heard it. And then we could move forward, we could take the votes and go.
And then what was suggested last year is to move it to a Tuesday, like you would your committee meetings, have it like that, a Tuesday, then that would give you a whole week to process what was spoken.
Take it in, ask questions,
Exactly.
get responses back from whoever we had the questions for.
So I have those schedules, so I can put them back, I can create them again for this year and give you the 2 examples.
And then
Committee
we
of
would
the whole,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
you know, committee of the whole, or we do committee workshop
Yeah.
board meeting, so we
Discuss
have
it
2 options like we did last year.
And this is a conversation that,
Organizational meeting.
that we'll have at the next meeting.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
I was gonna say, because it would be nice for Lori and Doug to be a part of that conversation.
Right, that's
Well,
what
that's,
Real fair to them.
that's
We're gonna
exactly why
decide.
we're
Yeah.
not making any
Yeah.
decision
Yeah.
now. is-
January workshop will remain
Yeah,
to get to the January board meeting, then after that, whatever you vote on after January, we make the change in February,
okay.
makes sense?
Mhm.
Would that eliminate the workshop then? So it'd be Tuesday, Monday?
Tuesday, Monday, well, it'd be a committee of the whole /
Tuesday.
workshop, I guess, it's kind of the same thing, it's gonna be, they're just gonna be coming to
It would eliminate all committee meetings.
Right,
Because
yeah,
we'd be
yes.
doing it all there, and then mostly,
So,
we would,
okay.
probably, the way we're thinking, it would eliminate the workshop, because, I don't know if I wanna say, it would eliminate it, it would just combine them all together into that workshop.
And move it to a Tuesday,
Correct.
potentially.
That could be, yeah.
To give everyone, to give us and the administration more time to ask questions, give answers, before we got till the Monday meeting where we need to take a vote.
And then it'll avoid, like, you know, we've had to plan a couple of BGT committee meetings outside of the calendar because something has come up, you know, that we need to address right away. They have that opportunity every month, so they're not waiting for their month to come up.
Right.
Because some are, you know, February and then they don't come back up till April.
It's more
Like
efficient.
that rotation is. So I'll make the schedule and I'll have them for January's workshop.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
High school.
Okay, we'll move on to building updates. Mr. Byram,
It's not here.
not here? Ms. Hempstall, you have the floor, I'm sorry.
Let's see here. For the high school, our mentoring and tutoring program is up and running for the semester. The tutoring is happening before and after school. We also have the SAT prep meetings that have started after school on Tuesdays, and those have been well attended, and those are run by 2 of our teachers. Our winter sports are up and going. This past weekend, for our band, we had 6 of our band students invited to practice and perform in Harbor Springs with the MSBOA, the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association, under the direction of Dr. Klenna from Oakland University. Those students were Christopher Peterson, Wilder Nellis, Haley Madison, Nola Griffin, Josh Lachinsky, and Sophia Niss. Also, congrats to our bowling team. First conference team bowlers are Isaiah Fable, Sarah Oldenburg, and Violet Griffin. And then our debate team also, congrats to them. They were down last week and competed in the Dexter debate tournament. And Arabella Southwell, Emma Price, Jaden Robinson, and Allie Price were there, with Arabella winning top speaker for the varsity team. We also have, I forgot to mention, we don't have a name for it yet, but we have like a caring closet now at the high school. We had donations from community members and then from the Kenny Bento funding. So we have our own closet that students in need of any winter clothes, clothing, hygiene products can go into this new office and go through and get what they need. And then last but not least, our high school girls varsity basketball team will be taking on Saline High School down at Little Caesars Arena on New Year's Day.
Oh, that's a big deal. How can people donate to your caring closet? Just
Just give us a call. Luckily, Lauren Gertz donated some more supplies for us, so we have more room for more donations. So just give a call. I think we're still taking in some extra.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
All right, I haven't seen Mr. Somerville, but I see Mr. Smith there. You have the floor.
Good evening. This past month, we welcomed over 150 veterans for our 28th annual Veterans Day celebration. So anyone that was there, our students really did a nice job recognizing those veterans, so that was a really fun morning. This past weekend, we wrapped up on Saturday. There was the Kiwanis Christmas basket program, and our students help with that. They bring in a bunch of canned goods and other items to help with that. And then we also do penny wars where different classes compete against each other and bring in some money to help go towards that cause. And so that wrapped up on Saturday, and our students were heavily involved in that. And lastly, we recently partnered with Community Financial Credit Union. This is through Mrs. Fitzgerald's Math Connections class. And so they're working on a lot of financial literacy, and their students will be gaining valuable experiences with managing their finances. So those are some good things going on at the middle school.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Vonder, and you have the floor.
Hi, good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
very excited to share a couple great things, narrow it down. Stacy Wright organized our canned food drive, which I talked about last month. And we, out of 643 students, we brought in 5,500 cans. So a great competition, a great sense of giving. So all of the teachers jumped in and our families were just so thankful. On top of that, we had Stacy Hilly in charge of our kitchen. We did our and Michelle's here, so thank you for helping us with that too. Our family style meal where all of the students in a grade level eat in the cafeteria and have a Thanksgiving meal together. The kids loved it. It was so much fun and the food was fantastic, so we thank her amazing team. And then Alicia Tiernan partnered with an apartment complex, Pines 45, and they collected school supplies for students and teachers, and all of our teachers were able to get school supplies last month, and we're really excited about that as they start to dwindle down a little bit. And then Nick Nowak, who loves reading, he wrote a grant, a fun fantasy for fueling reading, and he got some really great books that continue to inspire his students to on their reading journey. So great extra work by him, and we're having a great month.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Shiver, you have the floor.
The theme for my sharing tonight is just extras. So everybody thinks always about all the academic things that happen at a school. I just want to share with you a couple of the extra things that staff are doing that kids can access before or after. So we had our title night. We had 207 guests come. All of the students were able to leave the following day with a game that they chose. So we ordered, there were math games, there were literacy games, kids moved to different rooms and they played games, families stayed, we served pizza. It was a ton of fun. The kids listed their favorites kind of in an order, and so then the following day at school, they were able to choose one of those top 1 or 2 games and take them home to be able to continue playing with their families. So just a lot of fun that evening we had. We also had Mrs. Massey and Mrs. Van Steenis do a Lego Club. It runs for a couple weeks, just as the weather starts getting yucky. They do it at 7 in the morning, so they're there early to greet the kids. We had 55 second and third graders participate in Lego Club, and so they would do Lego challenges. They would do some really kind of like team building activities, so just a lot of fun for those second and third graders. We had 2 classrooms. Mr. Pretzloff was one of them, a second grade teacher at North Ohio, and Mrs. Charbonneau, a kindergarten teacher. Those two classrooms were gifted in conjunction with our PTO and Raymond James Financial. So they were able to buy extra things for their students, whatever they wished. And then our conferences, teachers worked really hard to make sure they were able to connect with parents, whether it be a phone conference, an in-person conference at a time that worked. We had some staff meeting parents at 5:30 at night because that was most convenient for them. Some would do a morning, whatever worked so that we could communicate with parents. As a whole, we had our third grade led with 95% participation. Second grade was at 88%, first grade was at 94%, our kindergarten hit 92%. As a building, we were at about 92% participation, and that was a more formal conference, not just the regular communication that would happen on a daily basis. So lots of extra good stuff happening for our students at North Ohio.
Good deal, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Parker?
Hi everyone, I'm bringing a guest with me today. This is Tina Delecto. She is one of our third grade teachers, an amazing third grade teacher who is looking to further her career through administration. So she'd like to take this opportunity to share the amazing things that are happening at South Maple.
All right, guys, we had a donor who graciously offered to buy a book for every student who was not able to at our book fair. So they're going to be able to do that tomorrow, which is pretty awesome. We had 124 perfect attendance students in the month of November, so we're going to celebrate them soon also. And then finally, we had a PTO fundraiser, Mrs. Fields, and within that fundraiser, we were able to get $35,000 in sales, which ended up giving our PTO close to $12,000 in profit. So,
Nice.
those are great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, that is all of our building reports. Now we'll move on to public input. first and 2. Okay, just so everyone understands, public input, we have 2. You can go now, or you can wait till the end of the meeting and take your time then. You will have 3 minutes to speak to the board. You're not speaking to the crowd. Please address the board. We will not interact with you. If there's a question, we can get back to you on that. But we will not answer any questions of the public comment at this time. And then we just ask you to be polite and courteous to whatever you're saying. So first up will be Joe Gaylor.
Well, after all those positive remarks from those elementary teachers, I hate to be this guy. I'm coming to talk to you about the football program, and as it pertains to DJ Shimoniak. So, just a little information. I was doing my own research, and on Michigan school data, there's a Gaylord Community School is currently at a 10-year decline academically. Since 2021, we were ranked, let's see here, U.S. News ranks Gaylord Public Schools, Gaylord High School, 180th this year versus 152nd, 2021. So, I guess my point is you've got DJ. Well, I'm trying to wrap my mind around why he wasn't brought back. With his resume, with the last 3 years, they were academic all-conference. Or I'm sorry, excuse me, academic all-conference and academic all-state. Which, as I understand it, that's the first time, or the second time in school history you've had three consecutive years. So, my question is that how after that performance does he get an email 12 hours after his game with an explanation that he wouldn't be renewed? That's question one. The second question is, what's the typical process when you decide not to renew a football coach? Was there something egregious that had happened? You know, those are the kind of questions that you have. I mean, everyone's going to ask you the same stuff tonight. We're all here for the same reason. We've had 5 coaches in 9 years, so certainly when a renewal comes up, there must be some sort of a decision-making process that's put into place. But I can't imagine that it's just an email that's already crafted 12 hours after the game, the final game. But that's pretty much it. So appreciate you listening.
Thank you. Next up will be Finn Miller.
Hello again. My name is Finn Miller. I'm currently a junior here at Gaylord High. I'm here on behalf of Coach DJ to get him reinstated to be our head coach next year. We had to come up with a solution to this problem, and a good solution we had was by starting a petition. And currently, we have 786 verified signatures, and that is climbing as we speak. This is awesome to see how many people in the community, schools, and all around have came up and signed that to get our coach back. I just wish he would hear us out. I wish to this man that he would answer my emails, and I wish he would have handled it a different way than having to stop me in the hallway 2 weeks later after that email was sent saying that we'd have an email, or not an email, having a meeting that was never had. This coach is like a father figure to this team, this school, and this community. I hope you're not, this school isn't just your school, this school is for the community. We should all at least be heard, because clearly you only have a say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be Kevin Corbin.
Good evening, board members and other residents of Gaylord School District. Our mission as residents, parents of students, and simply just concerned school district residents is to take responsibility for the future of our young people, along with the future of our community. People that reside in this school district, people that have students that attend this school district, take pride in this school district. Because I believe that to be true as anyone within their residing school district. I've said the word resident or a form of it quite a bit in this short time. That is because I need it to sit with you. The leader of this Gaylord Community Schools needs to have the same pride as we do. This person needs to have a stake in our community as we do. The leader of our young people's minds needs to have a vision for their future and the future of our community as we do. Unfortunately, I do not believe we have that leader. Our superintendent does not reside within our community or your community. This is not his home. His home is the place that he takes pride in, is Northville. Northville is where our leader of minds has a vision for the future, has an outlook for what those young people accomplish academically, professionally, and personally. Gaylord is not on his vision board. Unfortunately, our school district's academics have suffered because of this. Our test scores, our reading levels have all seen a drastic decrease. And it's time for the people that actually have this community and this school district's best interests at heart to do what is right to fix this. There was a man that took academic pride in this district, yet achieving all state academic honors several years in a row. Apparently is not what this singular individual wants for the future of our Gaylord Community Schools. So I ask the school board and all residents to make your voice heard, right this wrong for our community's future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be Karen Olson.
Trying to make it quick. I was going to say a lot of stuff, but my name's Karen Colby Olson. I was a pediatrician here in Gaylord for 38 years. 18 of them I was the only pediatrician. So I saw a lot of kids and had a lot of mental health patients, and especially ADHD kids. And my treatment for them was diet, behavioral modification, and medication if needed. I tried to avoid that. So for diet, I tried to counsel the parents. A lot of the parents not interested. So I came to the Gaylord Community School about 30 years ago. And I went to the head of the food services and asked them if we could feed kids a whole foods diet, preferably organic, no preservatives, colorings, no processed foods. She took me on a tour of North Ohio and the high school, and at the end she said that we're subsidized by the government, and for us to pay for good food for the kids, we'd have to pay for it. We can't afford it. So here it is, over 30 years later, I'm looking at the menu for November, still loaded with preservatives and colorings and stuff. But we know so much more now, and one of the things we know, that there's a strong gut-brain connection. And what we feed our gut, usually what's recommended is a lot of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean meat, dairy. What we feed our gut feeds the trillions of bacteria, viruses and bacteria. And that helps produce a lot of the mental health chemicals that we produce in our body. People who are depressed have usually a deficiency in serotonin. 90% of the serotonin is produced in the gut. There's a gut-brain connection. So I'm looking at the menu, still not doing it. So one of the main reasons I'm here is to see if there's a way we can feed the kids what they need to be fed. Because what we learn with the ADHD kids and the kids with mental health problems, they are affected by the dyes, that sugar, the processed foods, and it affects their behavior, which upsets the teachers and everybody. We have a steady sugar in our body. When you eat sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar goes up, and 1 out of 4 it drops subnormal before it comes up. Subnormal like that, it causes hyperactivity, kids can be tired, irritable. So we try not to give refined carbohydrates, the bagels, and all the stuff that they have.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes.
Well, I was gonna suggest maybe you could look at a different supply chain.
Okay, thank you.
Look into it.
We'll move on to the consent agenda. We have board minutes from November 11th, board meeting, and then treasurer's reports. We have general fund and athletic fund bills in the amount of $3.5 million, cafeteria fund bills in the amount of $114,000, sinking fund bills in the amount of $87,000, and prior period adjustments in the amount of $0. That is the end of the consent agenda. Do I need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Any questions on either item?
I have a question.
Shoot.
In the treasurer's report,
Okay.
I'm trying to find it, there was an expense, I think it was for PD. It was like $77,000.
What was it?
Professional development for $77,000, is that?
What was it specific to?
There was an expense in here in the treasurer's report, and it was $77,000.
So the only, the only thing I can think of, the 77 that's ringing a bell, is we got the second half of our grant to pay for our ELA curriculum.
Yeah.
And I think that was around 70, I'm not
I can
familiar
follow up with
the
you.
PD that would have
Okay.
been,
I'll give you a call.
Yeah, it just like seemed
yeah, I'm.
very high.
Joe, are you-
Yeah.
We can look into more detail, are you looking at who it's payable to?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, I think it was on the 11th of November, I know that. I'm sorry, I tried printing it out at home and I couldn't.
I can look into it and get back with you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just very curious about,
Sure.
I had a question on an item too. Access locksmithing, there were 2 different entries for locksmiths.
Okay.
Doesn't ring a bell?
there's probably not.
Was it be through maintenance? If we wanna,
That was through maintenance, that was on some special locks that we had to get done throughout the district, that we couldn't do.
Oh, for like security, for our security
Yes,
situation?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome, thank you.
This one on the 11th, it's open up resources, supplies, 35J.
That's our professional development, that's the other half of the purchase of the bookworms
Okay.
curriculum.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
got- If you remember, it was a 2-part grant, we got half of it last year, and then we got the other half this year.
Okay, that's what that was. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so those are answered.
Okay, so a motion from Jeff, and second with Sarah. Rachel?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Jeff Gorno?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Jeff Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Right. New and unfinished business. We have the 2025 tax resolution. It is recommended the board approve the 2025 tax resolution as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the tax resolution.
I'll second.
Any questions on the collecting the taxes in the summer? Okay.
Motion made by Katie, seconded by Carrie. Rachel?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Jeff Gorno?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes, but I didn't second it.
I did.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. Carrie?
Yes.
Jeff Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. United Way lease agreement. It is recommended the board approve the United Way lease agreement as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the United Way lease agreement as presented.
I'll second it.
Any questions on the United Way?
Motion made by Rachel, seconded by Jeff. Rachel?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Jeff Gorno?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Jeff Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Superintendent's salary schedule. It is recommended by that the board approve the superintendent's salary schedule as presented.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the superintendent's salary schedule.
I'll second it.
And I think it just goes to saying what we did is, they wanted it in a grid format rather than language that was already in the contract. So there's nothing renewing, there's nothing
Nothing's changing, we're just
Nothing's changed.
putting it in a.
Different picture.
It's just a form, yeah.
Did we miss anything, Joe, on that?
No, that's correct.
Okay,
Yep, it's a summary of what's already there.
any other questions? Okay,
Made by Jeff Gorno, second by Sarah. Rachel?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Jeff Gorno?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Jeff Beaver?
yes.
Motion carried.
That is the end of the new and unfinished business. We have, all the public input has already been spoken, and we need one more motion for adjournment. And before everybody goes, this is Mr. Gorno's last day as on the board, last board meeting, I think. We don't have any more scheduled, so if everyone would like, we have some cake here for Mr. Gorno.
Please eat the cake so I don't.
And we have a little parting gift for him after that. So you're all welcome to stay and for that. Other than that, we are done.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Rachel? Katie?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Jeff Gorno?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Jeff Beaver?
Yes, thank you all. Come get some cake.